The world has quickly changed, and we find ourselves in unfamiliar and uncharted territory, in my lifetime at least. We can only look to the future as we settle into what may be our new normal, however that looks, and for however long. My thoughts are with anyone directly or indirectly affected by this latest deadly virus to come to us, coronavirus or COVID-19. We need to live our lives as safely as we can and as much as we're allowed. We need to look after one another and we need to stay strong. Kia kaha.
Well, in Italy, nearly 800 people have died within the last 24 hours, bringing the total of deaths there to 4,825.
A memorial has been held for victims in Spain. The country has recorded 812 deaths in the past 24 hours and now has more registered cases than China.
Boris Johnson has tested positive for coronavirus.
Tonight, the coronavirus emergency is spiraling into uncharted territory as the number of dead surges in the city. The CDC just told everyone in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, more than 32 million Americans do not travel.
Kua whakaingia e te runanga o te kāwanatanga e tahiri te ngā nō hei kaupare I ngā kino o te mate COVID-19 ki te haura me te ohanga o tō tātou whenua.
We are fortunate to still be some way behind the majority of overseas countries in terms of cases, but the trajectory is very clear. Act now or risk the virus taking hold as it has elsewhere. Right now we have a window of opportunity to break the chain of community transmission, to contain the virus, to stop it multiplying and to protect New Zealanders from the worst. Our plan is simple. Now is the time to act. That's why Cabinet met today and agreed that effective immediately, we will move to alert level 3 nationwide. After 48 hours, the time required to ensure essential services are in place, we will move to level 4. These decisions will place the most significant restrictions on New Zealanders' movements in modern history. This is not a decision taken lightly, but it is our best chance to slow the virus and to save lives. Our low number of cases compared to the rest of the world gives us a chance that many others do not have. But it does not mean we have escaped. I do not underestimate what I am asking New Zealanders to do. But I wanted to share with you the stark choice that we have faced as government. Medical modelling considered by Cabinet today suggests that without the measures I have just announced, up to tens of thousands of New Zealanders could die from COVID-19. I have one final message. Be kind.
So I'm just going to head into the Redwood Forest in Rotorua, and this is going to be my exercise for tonight. The government here in New Zealand have told us that we can get outside for exercise as long as we exercise social distancing, and by that they mean 2 metres, but there's actually no one else here tonight yet. I'm a couple of minutes away from going into the forest, and there may be people up there, and I'll be sure to stay 15 metres approximately from anyone else. I'm only going to be in here for a short period of time because I don't know if I'm going to get hassle carrying the tripods, carrying the cameras. This wouldn't be deemed normal exercise, but as this bag's heavy, this is my exercise. And another piece of advice is to stay within your social bubble. I am my social bubble, so I'm here on my own. I'm going to keep on walking. I'm probably a couple of minutes away, and we'll see you up there. Now this walk's actually going to take a few minutes, and it may actually be a waste of time. So rather than come with me, I'll save your legs, and we'll pop back to the house for a few minutes just to see how else we can photograph if we're actually stuck at home. Now if you are confined to the house and you simply can't get out and about, we can always do the macro stuff that we've just seen in the garden, but it's also an opportunity too to look at the stuff inside the house to see how we use what's around us to our advantage. And if you've got kids at home, because the school's closed and they're driving you crazy, well, it's a good opportunity to photograph your kids, but photograph them well. And it's actually really simple to do. So unless you live in a cave, every house has got windows. Now these windows aren't that good because they're floor-to-ceiling glass, but ordinarily you would have a windowsill. And this provides a really good opportunity to use window light as your softbox that you would find in a studio. And generally you find that window light's rarely used and underrated as a light source for taking portraits, and the bigger the window, the softer the light. Now I've done a couple of exhibitions where I shot portraits with just window light and they look like they were shot in a studio. So using windows, every house has got white sheets, and it's really easy to create what I would call my $20 studio by using window light as your window source and having this as your backdrop. So really, really easy to place your subject in front of this and have it pinned up, or have someone hold it up behind them, and we've just created a studio. Overexposure to your shot because of the white sheet would have to be maybe a stopover to get rid of the grey creases in the sheet and just bring the image alive. This image of Lloyd here that I took in Birmingham a couple of years ago was taken with single window light behind me and his mum holding a white sheet behind him, and it looks like it was shot in a studio. And what you can see here is that window light's really good at softening off the skin tones, but also bringing the eyes to life. Really easy to do. Now if high key portraits isn't your thing, you can turn that into more conventional, more traditional, lower key, just by the introduction of a darker sheet or a darker curtain, darker backdrop. Same principles apply though. So have a little look at this photograph here. This is a photograph I took with the window light behind me. Darker sheet behind the subject. I underexposed this one a little bit and flipped it into black and white. And doing these two things alone converts it into a much higher contrast image, allowing you just to focus then on the subject that you're shooting without distractions of colour or texture in the background. But look how soft the skin tones are again, and also the detail that's in the eyes here. Really simple to do, really effective. So I did go up to the forest, and I got up there and it was actually chock-a-block. There's far too many people there. It was a bit like Charing Cross, to be honest. And rather than add to that problem of having too many people in the one area, I came away. Ethically, I didn't feel right going in and adding to that problem. And I think it kind of goes against the grain of what the government are trying to do anyway, by trying to introduce social isolation. I just don't think that everybody up there walking is the right thing at this time. So I've come back home, and I'm going to head down into the garden. As you can see behind me, we've got the starting of autumn colours in the ivy behind me, and the deciduous trees in the garden too are starting to turn colours. There's not an awful lot of wind tonight, so I think it should be a really calm night, and the water should be flat calm. So I will head down. I'll take the drone and get some footage, and I'll take the video camera with me, as well as the big camera and the tripod, and see what we can see. This tonight probably won't be about getting really nice images. This video is more about just shooting during isolation, just shooting anything. So I'll head down to the garden and I'll see you just in a little while. This will be take 2. Beautiful soft colours there. Up in the clouds. Just on the top of that hill. As that last of the light comes in behind me. Really nice. Thanks for watching, everyone. You stay safe, stay positive, and we'll see you next time. Cheerio.